When referring to sport tape, the term rigid simply means that the tape is non-elastic. It won't stretch either laterally or lengthways. Rigid tape is made from a cotton or rayon cloth and backed with a zinc oxide adhesive. It can be applied directly to the skin and helps support joints by immobilising or restricting movement. There are two main kinds of zinc oxide tape, zinc oxide white and zinc oxide tan, sometimes known as white rigid and brown rigid. Both have a serrated edge and are hand tearable to allow for quick, convenient application. Zinc oxide white tape is made from a non-elastic cotton cloth. It's lighter than the tan tape, making it more pliable, but it has a lower tensile strength. This makes it suitable for strapping non-weight bearing joints such as the wrist and hand. It comes in a variety of sizes and widths: 12.5mm, 25mm, 38mm, and finally 50mm are biggest. Zinc oxide tan tape is made from a non-elastic rayon cloth. Rayon is at least 50% stronger than cotton and is a man-made fibre known for its absorbency, softness, but also strength. It's ideal for supporting weight-bearing joints and for those that come under a little bit more stress, such as the shoulder, maybe in rugby, or the ankle in change of direction sports such as football or netball. Generally, zinc oxide tan is more adhesive than zinc oxide white. Typically, zinc oxide tan comes in two sizes, your standard 38mm and a slightly wider version which is our 50mm, which again is perfect for shoulders and larger joint areas. If you're taping on a budget, I'd recommend a 38mm as a perfect starting point. If you're only going to buy one size of tape, then this is the one. It's the most versatile size and it can be used from everything from ankles to knees to wrists and shoulders. You also need a thinner tape, then you can tear the 38mm down the middle lengthways, but we'll come on how to handle the tape a little bit later. So what makes a good zinc oxide tape? The peel should be consistent and smooth all the way down to the core. This makes it easy to apply with some tension and also to use all of the tape on the roll. Next, you want to check the adhesion. Hold the tape up to the light. Visually, the layer of glue should be smooth without any patches. Have a feel of the glue. It should be tacky, stick quickly and feel strong. There's nothing worse than excessive glue being left on the skin after the application. This is frustrating to remove and also annoying for your athlete. A good test before applying the tape is to fold the tape onto itself and try peeling it apart. It should be difficult, but the adhesive side should remain on the cloth and not separate from the fabric. Next, check the stretch. Zinc oxide tapes are designed to be rigid, so they shouldn't stretch at all. However, they should have good level of shear, ideally 20 degrees or more. This is important since it means the tape can follow the contours of the body without creases forming, making it more comfortable to apply. Always test how easily and neatly the tape can be torn too. It should feel quick and crisp, leaving minimal fraying and require little effort. So how long does zinc oxide tape last? Zinc oxide tapes are breathable but not waterproof, meaning that it can withstand a light shower or a match day downpour but aren't suitable for swimming. We recommend that if you're taping for sport, that the tape be removed directly after performance, or in some cases you may reapply at half time. If you're taping for an injury to support rehabilitation, the tape can remain in place for 2 to 3 days. For longer applications, we'd always recommend that you use fixation tape to minimise the risk of any skin irritation, but we'll go through that in a little bit more detail later on. In terms of shelf life of the tape, this should be a minimum of 12 months. At Sport Tape, we individually wrap our tapes. This is to provide more protection from the elements and to stop the serrated edges from gumming up or collecting dirt when they're left open. Just something to be mindful of, zinc oxide adhesive is susceptible to changes in temperature. Therefore, we always recommend storing your tape in cool, dry conditions prior to application. If the conditions are either too hot, above 30 degrees, or too cold, below 5, the tape will be difficult to unroll. So if you can, store them in a sealable container after they've been opened. Try not to just chuck them in the boot of your car ahead of match day. Now let's look at some of the tape handling. All of our zinc oxides are designed to be ripped by hand, which saves you time and effort, especially if you have a line of players waiting to be taped. If you're handling tape for the first time, start with the zinc oxide white, as that's a little bit lighter and easier to rip. If you're feeling confident, then grab a roll of zinc oxide tan. You'll notice that the rolls have a serrated edge. This makes the tapes a lot easier to tear. You want to pinch your fingers close together at one of these serrated edges and use some speed to help rip the tape as smoothly as possible. If you don't quite get the rip first time, then just keep practicing. Once you've mastered tearing the tip widthwise, try doing the same action lengthwise using the 38mm roll to create narrower strips. Let's talk about tensioning the tape. This is often an overlooked skill, but is extremely important to create the right application without excessive stress and potential irritation. Over or under tensioning the tape can cause issues with circulation, irritation to the skin, but can also limit the support your application actually gives, so it's important to get it right. So let's talk about some important taping tips. Firstly, unwind a workable length of tape. For instance, if you're taping an anchor to the calf muscle, then estimate the length needed to go around this muscle first. If the length isn't sufficient, then anchor the strip you've already applied and roll out more tape from the roll. Don't just tug on the roll and extend the length you've already got. Finally, whenever you're taping, make sure you pull the tension onto the tape first before you put it down on the skin.